Thanks for tuning in. In this video, we're going to show you how Black Eye is going to transform your gameplay driving cameras and cinematic cameras. Anything you're shooting cars, Black Eye is going to help. Okay, let's get into gameplay driving cameras. We've come a long way, or we should have, where cars aren't stuck to the middle of the screen. This is what, 1996? You can't feel the car physics. There's no camera-car relationship. And in this example, I'm going a little too far. But look, you can feel the braking, you can feel the acceleration, you can feel the tire grip. The car's not stuck to the middle of the screen. Let's make a driving camera. Okay, so drop a Black Eye simple look at in the scene. Set your auto assign to be player 0 and set the look at and the follow. That's going to automatically bind the camera to the car. Turn on save and play. And then let's adjust the positions. This is a follow offset. You can use this to set how far you want the camera away from whatever you're following. The car, of course, here. And then let's look at the car. We're going to go from screen space to world space. This enables the velocity look ahead. We're going to get into that in a sec. Let's adjust the screen space composition, get the framing right. And then we're going to put in a little bit of follow damping. This is the decoupling between the camera and the vehicle. Some damping there. Boom, we're off. Look at that. You can feel the acceleration. You can feel the braking. You can tune all this while the game's running. The save and play makes all of these settings preserved. Let's get ridiculous for a second. We can put some dynamic FOV on the camera. We can lift it up high. Get this like weird drone follow, you know, maybe cool for replays or for a cinematic sequence or who knows. Whoa, what is, okay, so let's get back to driving cameras. This is obviously way too much follow positional damping just to show you what too far looks like. Let's bring these numbers back to something a little more realistic. Okay, so 0, look at this. I mean, this is what some driving cameras do. You can't feel the car physics. And see that? We're going to change the orientation damping. Now look at this. The camera's hard pinned. That one control, that orientation damping, is the rotational decoupling. Really powerful. Hey, let's put a little bit in. Or tons. Look at this. The car can basically spin around. And that rotational damping is going to take so long to bring the camera back. Again, too far, but so you can feel it. Now we've moved the location, the look at offset forward. So instead of pivoting around the center of the car, see how we're pivoting around the front? Let's fix this damping. That's just too crazy. So now the car is pivoting around the front and we've got less orientation damping, which is starting to feel, let's just fix that a little bit lower. You know, this is in the neighborhood. There's still no positional damping. So the car, you're not going to feel the braking. Look at that. Can't even tell. So let's put a little location damping on that. This is probably too far. Look at that. The car gets away from the camera. Camera slowly catches up. That's obviously too far. Let's get this more in the ballpark. Okay, so this is something. We're getting there. You'll find, okay, I'm just gonna put a little velocity look ahead time. This is very powerful. So what this lets you do is it lets the pivot point move forward and back with the car's velocity. And we're putting a little look at damping now. And what that's going to do is that's going to decouple the car on screen space. So that's the camera's rotational damping based on what's happening on screen. So the velocity look ahead means we're going to move the camera's look at pivot point forward and backwards based on the velocity of the vehicle. It's very powerful. And then that yaw damping is letting the car move a little bit on the screen back and forth. So I'm just going to tweak this orientation damping, just increase that a little bit to let the car rotate a bit more. I'm going to force that look at position a bit more forward. And because of all this, we need to readjust the composition. So look at that. It always blows me away. Like just a few tweaks and you can create an entirely different camera feel. This is, again, probably too far, but you see like when we're going around the corners and like how it does that look ahead. too far. I mean, it's getting away from the camera too far. You feel the impact, see the reaction to like when the car hits stuff. If that was a hard locked camera, you're not going to feel that. I used to joke when I worked on Need for Speed that 50% of the car's physics was the actual car to camera physics, not just the cars. Okay, so a little bit more tweaking. We're going to increase that orientation damping a bit. Look how far that pivot point is ahead, that dot. See how far in front of the car that is? This really changes how the camera feels. Because in the center of the car, it just feels like the car stuck on this like pogo stick. If it's in front of the car, you get a real sense of weight. And by using the velocity look ahead, you can dynamically have that pivot point move forward and back based on the car's speed. I'm going to just move this back a bit. Look at the difference. Now we're rotating around more like the front of the bumper, not that far ahead of the car. But with the velocity look ahead, this changes. So watch this. It's in front of the car quite a bit. But watch what happens when we slow down. That pivot point right here, once we slow down, we'll come back into the center of the car. Now we're pivoting around the center. And as you speed up, it goes further away. And as you slow down, it comes further back. And that gives a real sense of speed to the car physics, or the car camera physics, but to the gameplay controls. It's a very powerful thing. Play around a lot here. Okay, this is, what do we got? It's, feeling okay. In this video, for the purpose of showing these controls off, I'm going a bit too far. I mean, that's a fair bit of car movement on screen. I mean, I kind of like it, but it might be a bit too much for your game, but I want you to see where these controls are. But look at that. When the pivot point's further ahead, you get that look ahead compositionally. Okay, so let's turn it all off. Let's turn it all off. We're going to turn it all off except for no, we'll keep this. Watch this. No braking. Car's pivoting in the middle. I mean, this feels very video gamey, like old school video gamey. Maybe this is what you want, but at least you now see that there's controls for doing more, and you can make a more sophisticated camera. And if we turn this off, this orientation damping, look at this, or basically set it off. It's very low. Now the camera's just like mounted to a pole behind the car, and it's just like this fixed, rigid thing. And look at how that changes the vibe of the game. So now we're going to put back a little bit of location damping, just so we can feel that braking. It's really important. I think it's really important to have the car move just a little bit on screen for that. You can really feel the physics. And I'm going to move the look at offset just forward a little bit. Oops, wrong way. See the point there? It's a little further in front. And you'll need to recompose sometimes if you move that a lot. I'll just adjust the screen space composition to put the car in the right spot on the screen. Okay, here we go. So that point's just a little bit far forward. A little bit of follow location damping to decouple the car. Front and back, braking, acceleration. And increase this yaw damping. Now look at this. See, there's a little blue point there. There's a red point that's in the middle, and there's a blue point. That look at yaw damping, or the screen space damping, will let the car move a bit in the screen based on basically its physics, how fast it's turning. And this is a powerful little control too, because this lets you let the car move around on the screen and feel things. Again, it's probably a little too much just showing it off, but that keeps the car from being like hard pinned on the center when you like react to things like bumps and wiggles. You can see how that little blue dot's moving back and forth. So there's a handful of controls here, but you can see that we've gone from like old school video gamey, super dampened, way too much car movement, to, this, which is starting to feel pretty good. You can see this, the little blue dots moving back and forth. That's a look at damping, the screen space damping. You've got positional damping, rotational damping. You can make some amazing car driving cameras. Go for it. Let us know in the comments how you're doing. Let's do some cinematic car cams. Okay, so drop a black-eye camera in your scene. You can move it to wherever. Pick look at, and then pick the little eyedropper under subject and pick your car. Boof. The camera is now looking at the car, and we have this dynamic tracking, although not very well composed shot. Let's take this camera and drop it onto sequencer and add a transform track. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and we'll just put in the camera cuts track 2 so we can see it. Here's our shot. Not so amazing yet. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the camera move. We're going to do a couple of keyframes, very basic. So we're going to have the camera, here. Let's keyframe that transform. And then as a car drives by, we'll have it do a little swoosh behind it. And this is part of the joy and power of Black Eye, is you can do these like hybrid modes where just a couple of camera keyframes, but all the rotation stuff is figured out, the tracking. Let's just make this a bit shorter. It was a bit too crazy. All right, the car's going to smash into the camera. Maybe not ideal. Let's move it out a bit more. We'll just go to curves and just fix this up a little bit. A bit too far. Right there. Okay. So look at this. The car goes by and the camera looks at the car, swings by. The looking at isn't great yet. We're going to tune that. Let's turn on the debug just so we can see. So when we go into here, we can see the debug lines. There's the shot. Okay. That's the center we're looking at. See that damping? That's a look at damping. That's a default setting. I'm going to turn that to 0. Now watch. Hard pinned. There's no decoupling between the subject and the camera's rotation. This can look very mechanical sometimes, but I find on like vehicle shots, car shots, it can look pretty cool. Like it can look more like a car commercial. Okay, so now we're going to move the look at point in object local space. So see this look at offset? I'm putting it to be like on the logo. Look at that. So now the camera's tracking the logo. You can animate this, but I'm just going to hard pin it. Now look at this. Look at the whole shot changed. We've now set the offset to be, a sub-region of the car. We're going to now make a look at subject screen position track onto the sequencer. And we're going to keyframe the composition. This is super powerful. What we're doing is we're saying at any given point on the sequencer, this is the composition that we'd like. And the camera will figure it out and do all the buttery math and get you that shot no matter what happens. Oh, I forgot to keyframe the first ones. Okay, here we go. Keyframe the first ones. We want the car there. Then we want the car here. Here, I'm meaning composed on screen. Let's fix that. And then, at the end of the shot, we want the car to be, over here or whatever you'd like. So we're animating the composition of the camera over these frames. What's crazy about this is you can change the speed of the car. You can, the camera's going to adapt to these variable scenarios. It's a little bit lumpy still. Let's just fix this end here. Okay, now see that? That feels a little bit weird. And that's because we need to get into the keyframes and just the curves. We'll just flatten this out a bit. Okay, goes there. It comes up. Let's fix that. Car's a bit high. We'll fix it lower. So we're just keyframing the car in X and Y on the screen. We're not having to keyframe all those rotations. Once I get used to this, you can go so fast. Zoom. Just fix the transforms a little bit here. So we're now keyframing the car transforms. The camera's transforms. Maybe we don't want to wipe across. And this is interesting. Now that you got these things set up, you can just start to mess around and you can start to get really creative. Well, what if we don't hinge in front? We hinge from the other side. Look how fast that shot was to do. What if we want to start with the camera up, down, low, or up high? Let's try that. Let's move the camera. We'll start low, and then we'll end. Let's drop a keyframe here. We'll end high. Probably hinging a bit too much there. A bit too much. But see how fast this is to work? Let's start low. Let's start high and end low. And in seconds, once you've got this, you're working like a director. Like, where do I want the camera? Where do I want to be looking on screen? It's so fast for working. Follow camera rig. So where the last one had some keyframes on the movement, this one we're going to make follow the car. So pick follow, open your subject, and pick the car. The camera snaps to a position. We just default at 300 to the side. Let's play it. Those are the keyframe offsets on the screen composition from the shot just now. So let's get rid of those because we're going to do our own compositions. We'll just delete these keys. So now the camera is following the car from the side. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a follow offset track. We're going to put some keyframes in the relationship between the camera and the car. So you can see it's stuck there, but we can move it. We can change this offset, and we're going to keyframe the offset positions. So let's start from the side. We'll go to the middle, and then we'll go to the other side. So you can see just a few keyframes, and this is the offset between the camera and the car. So look at this. We come in, zoom around the car. It's probably a bit high. Let's make it go low. Okay, now the composition's not great. So let's put some keyframes on the composition. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fix that composition there. Let's just put that composition here. And at the end, put it over here. So look at that. We've gone zooming in to the front, just a few keyframes. Ooh, that's a bit stiff there. That's a bit notchy, isn't it? Let's fix that. Gets a bit close. And just smooth that out, make that a little bit slower. Really soaking in the Audi logo here. Zoop. That's a really fast way of working. Let's do another flyby shot. So we start from the side, focus on the front of the car, slow down a little bit, and then we hinge away to the side. And then off the car goes. So let's show you how to make this shot. So drop a black eye camera in the scene and tell it to follow the car. And tell it to look at the car. Okay. So we'll just start with this offset here just to get started. You can see you move the camera around. It's always looking at the car. So we're going to add a track. Let's pull the camera down onto sequencer. We're going to add a follow channel, and we're going to add extra yaw and a follow offset. We're also going to add a look at in a screen space position. These are the main tracks for everything. So that extra yaw is the camera's the camera's yaw around whatever it's looking at. And the follow offset is the camera's offset relationship between what it's following. So let's put some keys here. Let's keyframe the composition. And we're going to add a little bit of offset here. So we're looking at the front of the car. See that offset in local space? And we're going to put that where the logo is. And then adjust the composition. There we go. We got the car going. The car's following. Now we're putting a keyframe on this new composition because of the extra yaw. So look at this. That extra yaw keyframe is going to swing the camera around. Let's fine tune that composition some more. Okay, we're too far away. Let's get closer. These keyframes are set to automatically update. So basically you just drive black eye and it'll automatically drop keys. And you work through the lens. This is the hugest part about black eye is you work from the shot. You're not punching in all these numbers trying to get somewhere. You just tune the shot that you want. It'll keyframe that. You'll tune the composition, tune the position, the offsets. You work through the lens. It's a really fast way of working. Okay, look at that. Nice, smooth, buttery drop in there. Okay, we'll hold that for a sec. And then we want to go to this side and then go far away, maybe get down lower. adjust the composition, put a little bit more yaw in. Let's just tune the shot up. Boom. Okay, and let's get it behind. Let's do our last composition idea. Move the car away and move it up top. You can just see we're just tuning the shot. Tune the shot that you want. And it's going to tween everything in between. And because that camera knows the shot that you want, you can even change the speed of the car, or even like things can change and the cameras will figure it out. There we go. Black Eye lets you experiment with ideas like this and try out sequences and create things so quickly. Camera shakes. I'm going to use the default UE camera system. We're working on our own, but I want to show you how you can do this now. So add a camera shake track. I've added 2 noise camera shakes in Black Eye. They're not great. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't love noise-based camera shake systems. Here it is. That's where they are under the examples content in our Black Eye. Make sure you got the show plugin content on. And here they are. They're really just a quick start. You can spend a long time tuning this stuff and you're never going to get it to look amazing, because I don't think noise-based camera systems or camera shake systems are the right approach, but they're not bad. So the main thing here, oh yeah, really nice, right? Too strong. The main thing here is I set the duration to be 0, and then that makes it last for infinity. And let's just tune these. Get the speed down. No, it's a bit drifty, but it's that easy. You create a camera shake track, you drop one of the noise profiles that are included with the Black Eye, and you'll need to tune it, because I don't know what kind of noise you want or what lens you've got on. I'm just going to do some more tuning here. Oh, it's not too bad. I mean, it just breaks it up from being super mechanical if you're just got a hard pin the camera to the subject. I mean, that can look cool, but sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of this organic camera shake just to make it feel a bit more, add a little bit of that mojo. I'll just do one more tuning pass here. We do have something that we're calling the most excellent camera handheld shake and noise system coming to Black Eye, and it's going to be amazing. It's not a noise approach. And Jell and I can't wait to release that. It's going to transform how shakes and camera noise and handheld and emulating all different camera behaviors works. Let's do a deep dive into velocity look ahead, because it's so powerful. Okay, this camera is looking at an offset that's on the front of the car. And that's cool while you're driving, but look, we're stopped. The composition's terrible. We want the composition to be more like this. But when it's like this, then the camera's looking at the center of the car. And that's not great. So here is velocity look ahead cranked up way too far. You can see as you go faster, the point moves forward. I'll just tune it down a little bit. So now when you drive, the composition shifts forward, and now we're looking at the nose of the car. See that? That point will move forward with the velocity of the car. But then when you stop, it looks at the middle of the car. It's magic. It's actually great. Works in reverse too. Works in any direction. And what this does is it's like a camera operator. It gives you a little bit of that lead. And like we showed you before with the gameplay cameras, that velocity look ahead works great for gameplay too. Look at that. Looking at the front. Now as it stops, looks at the middle of the car. As you speed up, looks ahead. Thanks for watching. Black Eye is pretty awesome for driving cameras. Hope you love it. Reach out in our Discord or comments below. Thank you so much for being part of the Black Eye family.